All right. Question number 4. This is about fears. And so the child recently got a flu test done for the very first time and got really scared because the doctor had the test kit deep into the child's nose. So the child started to scream and cry and now refuses to go into the hospital once they see the front entrance. So the child gets down on the ground and the parent doesn't know what to do. Now the child has a little history of being fearful of getting shots because he'll hold on to the nurse really tight. But this is the first time the parent has seen this level of fear. All right, so there are a couple ways to go about doing it, One is desensitizing the child to the conditions that they would face at the hospital or at the doctor's office or at the dentist's office and replicate those at home. So at home, when we're practicing like this doctor, then we have like a white shirt that looks like a doctor shirt. We get like stethoscopes or different tools that doctors might use with the child. So we might get a blood pressure cuff. We get a thermometer. We get various different things that the doctor is going to use. And then we practice it with the child at home, getting them used to it. Now, in this case, because it was the test kit, and so I imagine it's probably like a big old Q-tip. I would try to find similar ones, and then I would just desensitize him to that experience, So right now, he's going to have a big fear reaction, and you just have to have it close to him without even touching him. And over time, as he gets more and more comfortable with it, then you get it closer and closer to his nose. You get it up his nose. You get him just used to that type of procedure. With any of these fear responses, you have to take it slow. Don't rush the process. What you want to do is get them comfortable so that, every single time I call them over, if I just show it to them, they have no fear reactions. Only at that time do you start to move it closer to them, And only when you're successful really close to them, do you start to insert it a little bit and still having them learn to tolerate that before you're able to step it up again. All right, so that's what you're going to do is you're going to desensitize them to all of these conditions. And you can do that not just with like doctors, you can do that with dentists, you can do that like haircuts and all that stuff. You just simulate it at home and then you start to get them desensitized to all of the stimuli that used to get them all riled up. Now, that's the first component, which is the stimuli. Then we have to work on the location, which is the hospital and things like that. And so you do the same thing there, except that you're working with the child at getting them to be comfortable entering the entrance of the building and things like that. Now, it just depends I don't know how big this child is. I don't know what kind of behaviors they exhibit other than they are lying on the floor. But me, I get them up. Hey, I don't let you sit down here. I'm getting you up. We're walking toward the building. Now, if it's an extreme fear response, I won't worry about getting them into the building until they're able to sit at some seated things outside of there, or we're close to the entrance, and that we can always easily walk from the car to that same area until they're good at it. And then we start to build in from there.